So yes, I do commercial solar. Well, before I start talking about what I do, I have to say, like, this is an amazing team, and Montgomery County is a very special place that have taken great steps and strides to curate an environment that makes it as easy as possible for businesses to invest in efficiency and ultimately support the environment. So thank you. This is really humbling. So yes, I do commercial solar. I do commercial projects, anywhere from 100 kW to a couple megawatts. So those are basically run the gamut for medium-sized to large-sized commercial projects. I say that hesitantly because that's just one of the components that I do. So I'm a consultant. I originate energy efficiency projects that focuses on generation like solar, geothermal, wind, whatever is most appropriate. We also work on in areas of efficiency, so demand response, device level monitoring, things that basically take what people need to use and figure out the most efficient and effective way to use it. And also just pure demand. How do we reduce what we're using now? So the reason why I take more of a holistic approach, and I come from a world of selling supply, wind powered electricity, local company Clean Currents. I've worked with national, international companies like Direct Energy. I was the director of business development for commercial solar. So taking those modalities and putting it into an appropriate design, an appropriate chronology of time. So for example, in a solar project, there's no sense doing a solar project unless you've dealt with your demand issues. Are we really using the appropriate amount of electricity? Things like working with our PEPCO partners and your trade allies, we're able to work on easy things like LED lighting that reduces your energy for lighting anywhere from 40 to 80%. That translates into almost a quarter off your existing energy bill. That's significant, that's real, that's tangible, that's today. But it doesn't make sense to build a solar system unless you've dealt with those issues. And then if you're going to generate electricity at a lower rate and with less of a footprint, well, how do you know that within the system, within your building system, you could be using less? So looking at it in terms of totality, looking at it as a holistic system, and using the solutions that are available in an appropriate way, we basically curate projects. We work with providers and commercial customers, and we make sure that we match the folks that are most appropriate. But that's, so it's hard to really say when you say solar, yeah, generation is really important, but it's also about appropriateness. And what's happening and what's really changed in the environment is the accessibility of innovation. And the next big horizon is what you're seeing here. This is the financing piece. That's one of the biggest impediments that we have. But also just the incentive, sort of everybody taking it as part of their collective responsibility. So, through Empower Maryland, we're investing in this already, but it's really, I have to tell you, and I work in the Mid-Atlantic region, I work, from Maryland up into the Northeast. PEPCO Maryland has one of the greatest rebate programs around, and it's really strong. I'd like, conversely, to see a stronger incentive program from the state of Maryland with solar. But this is, time is sort of has had an effect to kind of solve some of these bigger problems. And I think problems, like SREC pricing, and that's the incentive the state pays people to generate electricity. I think those things will be easily remedied over time as consumers such as yourself speak and get more familiar with what your options and opportunities are.